Stop! You see, as a closer, as a sales professional, as an entrepreneur, we need to take time to stop and think about, are there missing opportunities? Are we leaving some money on the table? Today, I'm going to teach you a few simple closing techniques that you can use today to close more sales. Now, when it comes to closing, one of the most important skills that you need to develop as a closer is the ability to listen. Remember that we close with our ears. We don't close sales with our mouth. We need to listen with intent. And one of the techniques that I use is very, very simple, but I'm shocked how many closers don't use this simple technique. And that is this: simple paper and pen. Now, what am I talking about? When you are listening, when you are closing on the phone, instead of focusing on, okay, here's what I'm gonna say, this is what I'm gonna say next, and maybe you have a script in front of you when you are learning how to close sales, that's perfectly fine. In the beginning, everybody does that. I did that. But after a while, when you get better, when you master closing, you don't need a script anymore because you want to flow, you want to sound very natural, very conversational. You're just connecting with the prospect. Then in this case, you want to have paper and pen, and you're taking notes. Now, why is it so important to take notes? Because let's say you are spending 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, an hour, 2 hours on the phone with the prospect. When you are talking, when you're listening, the prospect might give you a lot of valuable information that later on you could circle back and use during closing. So let me give you some ideas. You want to mirror the exact words that the prospect is using. Example, let's say you're selling B2B and the prospect is using revenue to describe what they're doing. I want to increase my revenue. I want to grow my revenue. Guess what? Put that down. Revenue. If they use revenue, you don't use sales, you don't use money, you don't use profit, you use revenue. If they say, oh yeah, because I'm doing this because I want to make more money. Okay, money. Or I want to do this because I want to double my income. Double my income. So later on, during the close, you could circle back and use hypothetical, such as whatever it is that you've written down. Let's say double income. Well, Mr. Prospect, suppose this program could show you how you could double your income. How would you feel about that? And boom, now you are demonstrating that, hey, you're listening to their needs. And then later on, when you circle back and when you echo back exactly what they told you, what you're telling them, hey, you care, you understand what I need, you understand what I'm looking for. Why? Because we've been taking notes all along. Instead of us pushing our agenda, pushing our features and benefits and how great a product is, simply take notes. Now, another technique that I use is I will tell them I'm actually taking notes. So let me give an example. Think about in your life, when was the last time when you were talking, someone is taking notes? When was the last time your kid takes notes when you're talking? Like almost never, right? So think about when was the last time someone takes notes when you're talking? What it tells you is that, hey, this is important. I need to pay attention to this, right? So imagine I'm on the phone, I'm talking with the prospect, and he or she is telling me what they're looking for. And I would tell them, hey, you know what, Mr. Prospect, this sounds very important. Let me grab a pen and some paper. Go ahead. Tell me exactly what you need. And you'll notice they'll suddenly be like, okay, all right, I'll tell you exactly what I need. And then they would open up because you're telling them, hey, this is important. Let me take notes. My students use this technique on me all the time. Sometimes with my team, sometimes with my mentees when we're together. And then when I'm saying something and I'm talking about certain things and I'm sharing a story and they call me Sifu. Hey, Sifu, let me grab my notebook, and they'll be taking notes. Or they'll turn on their recorder. This is important. And suddenly now I'm all excited. Although I taught them the technique and I know they're using the technique on me, but now I'm like, all right, you're taking notes. Let me share more. Let me give you more, right? It's human nature to do that. Good old paper and pen. Now, one of the things that you don't want to do is, oh, Dan, can I just take notes from my computer? Like that. Do not do that. It's a big no-no. Because when you know those telemarketers, when they call you, they cold call, and you hear them typing like in the background like this, it's extremely annoying. So do not, especially if doing a Zoom call, a Skype, or anything like that, do not be doing the keyboard thing. Good old paper and pen. Extremely powerful. Remember, you close with your ears, not with your mouth. Now, these are very simple closing techniques that just work. If you've been following me for a while and you've watched a lot of my closing videos, maybe it's on different sales techniques, and you say to yourself, wow, this is incredible. How do I learn more? Now, you may be getting bits and pieces of information, a 3-minute video, a 5-minute video, a 10-minute video. I'm telling you that that's only a tip of the iceberg. A few times a year, I teach a live program called High Ticket Closer Certification Program, where I teach students from all over the world through a 7-week period. And each week we get a class and I teach you live for 3 to 4 hours. If you think a 2, 3, 4-minute video is good, imagine me, the king of high ticket sales, Dan Locke, teaching you high ticket closing techniques for 4 hours every week for 7 weeks straight to transform you from an average, decent salesperson to a world-class closer. 7-week transformation, and you can participate from the comfort of your own home. If you want to learn more, I'll put a link somewhere around this page and click on the link and you can book a time with one of my previous students who have graduated from the High Ticket Closer program. And you can ask them any questions you want. Now, these are not some slimy, sleeky salesperson. These are my actual students who have gone through the program, who have experienced the transformation and now it's closing full time. Go ahead and book a time with them. Click on the link somewhere here and ask them what they think and see if this is a good fit for you. And if it is, great. I'll see you in class. If it's not, that's perfectly fine. But I can promise you, if you're getting value just from watching a few minutes of my video here and there, HTC, the High Ticket Closer program, will transform your business and transform your life.